Okay, hello everyone. I'm very glad to be here again. Today I am with a new guest. I guess I want to say thank you to the support to the first episode of this podcast. And as I said in the last episode, this is a podcast created all for you guys, for my classmates, for people who see this and can you realize what we can do as English speakers? Okay, without more words, I want to present my new guest in the episode of today. She's a great teacher. She was my teacher when I was in third semester, and actually, to be honest, I lost a semester with her, but that didn't matter. I mean, he teach me a lot of things. I learned a lot of values when I was with her. Well, she is basically teacher Heidy Matute. I am very glad to have you here, teacher.
Thank you very much for the invitation and hello to the whole community. And well, I hope I can contribute to the community, to the people who is listening to you. And yes, you fell with me. I'm sorry.
Okay, let's get started. Teacher, I have prepared some questions for you and actually I included some things that my classmate also asked me. Let's start from the beginning, Teacher Heidy. Can you tell us how you decided to become a teacher? Or did you always wanted to be a professor? Or was something like happened later?
Well, okay, I'm gonna tell you what is my story. Um, when I am from a small town where at that time there were few opportunities for young people like me to study a major at university. So I was kind of rebel. So I had the chance to come to Cuenca. So when I started college, I was not clear about what major to choose. So my first option was communication. I want to be a sort of journalist or a presenter, I don't know. But in my mind, I was like, oh, how am I going to get a job? Is it going to be easy? Is it going to be difficult if I become into a communicator? But then I said, well, I like English, so maybe this major is for me. But I was not totally aware of being an English teacher, to be honest. No, but when I realized that I had this talent or this call for teaching was when I started to do my practicum. So in my practicum experiences, I think they contributed a lot to who I am because I realized that, I don't know, I feel super, I don't know, like positive and engaged. Like it's contagious, the energy of the students. And at the same time, I feel like their energy when they finally has that aha moment when they understand
When
something.
they
I
finally catch
when they
something.
exactly. I feel like wow. I feel amazed when they got the idea. I don't know why. So then it's been more than 16 years of experience teaching different levels. So then I realized that I wanted to do this.
You wanted to be a teacher.
Yeah.
How many times have you been teaching? 16?
Um, 16 years of experience. I started before graduating, actually. I remember that I was replacing a former English teacher, and this is how I got my first job. I started with preschool students, 3 to 5 years old.
And did you like work with preschool students? Did you like to work with kids or not really?
Well, at that time, because I was young and I had the energy, yes.
Okay.
But the first weeks, I didn't know what to do because the theory says, okay, you need to work with children in this way or in that way, or the theory says that these strategies are good for children or these strategies are not that good. But when I got to the classroom, once I found myself like in the middle of the class with all of those children like screaming or playing and running around the classroom, and I didn't know what to do, you know. So that's why I consider that theory is important, but the practice.
Yeah,
The
that's so
practice is what gives you the experience to becoming the best teacher or the best version of the teacher, to form your identity as an English teacher.
grateful, amazing teacher. I actually don't like work with kids. They are my weakness, but I know that I have to. Probably I have to work my skills on
we
it.
never know the paths of teaching. Sometimes we say no, but what if you got the job in teaching children? So who
Yeah,
knows?
you made a lot
Nobody
of things
knows.
that you never imagined. I remember because I already teach two kids. And you have some things that you've never imagined. You have to be also very, very, very specific with the instructions that
Yes.
you gave to them because yeah, it is in like in practicum you have one experience, but it's totally different when you are managing a whole class,
Yeah.
a classroom with 30, 35 kids. It's crazy. I
Yes.
totally understand
Yeah,
what you
it's
do.
great. And you need a lot of energy as well.
Mhm.
I
You
don't
need
have
a-
that energy now.
Yeah, I mean, the past of years, probably. Okay, teacher, thank you for sharing that. I wanted to ask you, was there a person or like a teacher or someone in your life who inspired you when you were young?
I think there were many people. Um, to be honest, if I said just one person who inspires me to be a teacher, no. But more than inspire me, I would say that I found many other teachers with more experience who have support me on the way. For example, one that I want to mention is Dr. Marieta Gallegos. I remember she was the vice principal when I started in public education. And she was the type of teacher that makes you realize of the talents that you have in the classroom. Sometimes we think, okay, today I'm going to teach, I don't know, body parts. But one of the aspects that she had was like, okay, she pushed you to be creative in a nice way, not like you have to do this or you have to do that. She was an excellent leader, so I learned a lot from her. And also regarding my academic life, I had to mention, for example, my thesis director, Elizabeth Bex. She was super supportive with me. I remember that I only had like a few years of being graduated from my bachelor degree, and then I entered to the master's. And at that time, it was 2 years. It was super demanding. And for some reason, I felt like she trusted in me and my abilities. I know that I was a mess at the beginning, especially.
No, I can believe that
Honestly,
probably the experience, but I don't see it as a teacher.
I suffer a lot because in the past we didn't have the same curricular subjects, the major curricular that we have now. In the past, my major was English language and literature, so we didn't know anything about research. So for me, when I started the master's degree, was the first time that I was learning how to conduct a quasi-experimental design. And yeah, and she helped me a lot. And well, regarding my life, my family, I'm a super familiar person. And I would say that they are my cheerleaders. Like, they feel proud when I do something or when I tell them what I do here at the university, because they know my reality. They know that I am the first woman in my family who left the the nest, who left the town to pursue, to look for the dreams. Yeah, my dreams. And the first woman, the first person in my family who is allowed to have a PhD degree, and they feel proud about that. But not because of the degree, but because all of the things that I have to go through in order to be here now.
Oh, amazing. The support of your family, I guess, is important. Very, very important. I mean, when do you wanna be success?
Yeah.
Thank you, teacher. Thanks for sharing that with me,
Yes.
and also with the people who's watching this. Um, Now we are gonna to pass to another question. Every teacher has a different way of teaching. Yeah, I am a witness of this. How would you describe your way of teaching? Do you focus more on helping students with their skills or in their confidence? I mean, when they have to speak.
Um, well, that's a good question because I don't think it's well, as teachers, some you know that you have the responsibility to teach your students and help them to develop the necessary skills to become English teachers. However, I think not all the students have different personalities, different learning styles. And sometimes, or most of the time, when you are learning a second language, that affects a lot, especially if you are a shy person and you are not confident enough to speak another language, that might affect your progress. So I am the type of teacher who, yes, I care about the standards, the level of the language of the students, as you said, when you
Yes.
fail.
Really.
But I also care about motivating my students. And that's why, for example, I like to work with first levels or second levels, because I know that not all of them had enough opportunities when they were in high school. Opportunities for learning English. Some of them arrived to the university with zero English. So my job, what I do with my students, is to make them fall in love with the language, fall in love with the major. That's what I try to do. I try to be, I don't know, positive, to motivate it. If I have to provide feedback, try to do it in a nice way so they don't feel hurt or they don't feel ashamed. Well, you have experience.
Yeah, I know. You never do a great problem for a little mistake. I mean,
Yeah.
you just correct in a certain way. Yep.
Yeah, so I try to combine both of them. Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess that it's important what you said that you prefer to teach one or second semester students because I believe that a strong teacher, very capable, who is able to really engage the students in first and second semester is very, very important for us because I fell in love with this major when I was in first semester with teacher McLeod, and I already told this in the last episode, but if there is a teacher like you or the good teacher who there are here at the UNAI in the first and second semester students, that
Yes.
will be great for the future. Future probably teachers, because
Yes.
that could implicate that the students with the time do not have wishes to leave the major.
And actually, I'm super proud of them when I see you doing this podcast, when I see other students, like in 8 level, for example. I have students who were my students in second level when I was in this major, the first year when I got into this major, and now they are in 8 level. When they are graduating, you see the progress from 0 to a C1. So that's amazing. That makes me really proud.
I think that that is one of the part that when a teacher feels great. I mean, how I see the progress from this child, because when I know them, probably they were
Yeah.
childs. Now they are grounds. They have a
Yes.
C1 level.
Yeah.
That's one that will
I
be
don't have
encouraging.
children, but I do feel like they were my babies.
Okay, thank you, teacher. Now, um, us as a teacher, we face challenge. We face some challenge every day, I guess. Teaching is not always easy. Sometimes students don't feel motivated, or life gets very busy for them. I mean, I'm sure that you have experienced um, a time when you want to uh, ask for a student's answer, but they are shy. They don't say nothing. I mean, when
Yeah.
they're that's the moment when it comes the silencio incómodo.
Okay, I got it. So you mean in the classroom when sometimes the group, like the group is not motivated, or...
When they don't want to talk or do, I don't know, the
Okay.
activities. I know that this is difficult, but it happens
Yeah.
actually.
You know, I had experienced this, but not with the first level, with the higher levels, because they are tired, because they are doing their practicum, they are working and study at the same time. So sometimes it's really hard to motivate those students. Um, but as teachers, I mean, there are days. I think it's not intentional. I think as teachers, we need to look for strategies in order to cope with that situation, and also understand that, of course, they are not going to have the same energy as the students in first level. So we need to understand that they are about to be professionals, that they are also tired. So I'm trying to incorporate strategies who appeals more to their critical thinking, to their reflection on their practicums. Because if you just set exercises without learning value, without appealing to the interests of the students, of course they are not going to enjoy the class. So what I try to incorporate is activities that calls to their interests and also to the experiences that they have. So that works for me with them, especially.
Okay. Thank you, teacher. Very interesting way to keep in the the interest of your students. Okay. Um, Now, please, teacher, I would like to talk with you. Life outside the classroom. I know that all the teachers have life outside the classroom. Teacher Heidy, what do you like to do in your free time? Do you have any hobbies or activities that help you to relax?
Yeah, well, if I have some time, I'm super familiar. Yeah, so one of the things that I enjoy is to stay at home, cooking for myself, for my partner, maybe to watch a movie, like something calm. And of course, if I have the money or the time, I enjoy a lot traveling. Even if I had to go to a small town in the country, so I enjoy a lot from that.
Have you ever traveled abroad?
Yeah, the first time it was due to academic purposes. It was to the United States. But then I had other opportunities. Oh, in 2018, I went on a backpacking trip. So yeah, I had an adventurous side. I went to Peru, Cusco, to the south in Puno, because that is near to the Titicaca Lake. So I went to Puno, and also then I crossed the border to Bolivia.
Wow,
To
so
the-
you walk all over Peru?
Yes, just with my backpack, and also, in buses or vans with hands on the top, Yeah,
Wow,
that
and
type
you
of trip.
don't feel afraid about where
I was
I'm
with
going
my
to?
best friend. My best friend is a very important part of my life because she's also an English teacher, and she's an adventurous person like me. So yeah, I mean, if we had the chance, we just go and discover the world. What else? Oh, we went to the Salar de Uyuni, Paraguay, in Ciudad del Este, and then to Brazil. So we ended up like almost a month. So
Just walking. And where
well,
did
of
you
course
stay?
buses, but you travel on low cost. Yeah, low cost where you share, for example, the hotel with other backpackers.
Okay.
You eat in the markets. You travel at night so you can sleep and you save money for the hotel. So you arrive the next day. The borders, yes, I crossed a couple of borders like on foot because you have to scan your passport and then go to the other one. The one that I remember is from Paraguay, the check out and then the check in to Brazil
Okay.
in Argentina.
Um, with how much money approximately you did this trip?
I had an emprendimiento at that time because I can also teach Spanish. Do you know that?
No,
No?
no, a new,
Yeah, I'm
a new
certified
thing to
as
learn.
a teacher. I can teach Spanish as L, que es español como lengua extranjera.
Ah,
Ajá,
okay.
sí. So,
So you teach Spanish to English native speakers,
yeah,
right?
yes, yes. So we had a sort of business with my friend, and we had a school to teach Spanish.
Okay.
And we have students from Korea, from Canada.
Where was that, in Paraguay, Brazil?
No, it was in Cuenca.
Okay.
So that was my business. So we had the school. It didn't last a lot, like a couple of years.
Okay.
So we saved some money because the goal. I was younger, of course. The goal was to go to South America and have
And
this
travel.
backpacking trip and travel and gain
Oh
experiences.
my gosh.
Yeah,
Okay,
I
okay.
think we saved like each at that time like $2,000, each one of us, my friend and me, maybe more. I don't remember at the time, but yes, we were traveling on low cost. Yeah.
Oh my god, amazing. If I have the opportunity to do that one day, I definitely will.
You can do it. Now there are many possibilities. You can teach online. You can, give private lessons.
I know, but probably I needed some money.
Yes,
some
yes. But
savings.
save, and when you graduate, you can maybe have that kind of trip.
Definitely, I will have.
Yes,
I
yes, yes. That opens your perspective of the world. We have only one. We are just a piece
that's
of the world.
totally when
We
I
are
travel.
nothing actually.
Yeah, I know, teacher. We are a little piece of
Yeah.
literally nothing. I mean, in this universe, we're
In the
literally
universe.
nothing.
Yeah.
If I had the opportunity to know a lot of countries in this small world, because
Yeah.
there's the world when you grow up, you realize that the world is very,
Yes.
very
And also
tiny.
you see the realities of other countries.
Yes.
For example, what I learned to value is my country, my Ecuador, as I said. Many people want to travel abroad and stay, for example, in the United States because they see it as the country of the opportunities and they think money is going to get immediately to you. But no, you're going to get money, but you don't have this wonderful view, the mountains, the people, your friends, the relationship with a person in the bus when you are talking with someone in the bus stuff.
That's unique. We
It's,
have a
it's
unique
different. In Peru, for example, you see a lot of poverty. In Bolivia, the children without shoes, Actually, we live in a country with a lot of problems, yes, but we need to value what we have because compared to other realities, no, Ecuador is wonderful. It's an amazing country.
Yes, I think if we compare Ecuador between the rest of the countries here in South America, at least, we are very, very privileged here in Ecuador.
Yeah.
But if we compare with first world countries, we are very, very far actually.
Yes, I mean each country has positive things. I'm not saying that the whole Peru, the whole Bolivia, the whole other countries are all of them sunk in poverty. No, I'm not saying that, but the realities are different.
Yeah.
And we have a lot of how can I say opportunities here to grow.
Yes, I guess. Even with the currency, many people don't know this, but only with the currency with our coin, which is the American dollar, we are literally very superior from the other
Yes,
countries.
in Argentina, for example, the last time that I went there, like 1,000 pesos, 1,000 pesos was like I can remember in dollars, but it was a lot of money. I remember when I changed it and then I took the money home, I throw it on the bed and I was like, oof, I'm a millionaire.
Yeah.
And yes, because you could have with dollars, if you change it to pesos at that time, I'm saying last year, I don't know about now, you could survive without any problem.
Thank you, teacher. now I included a new segment for since the last podcast is a segment that in where the Pine students ask something to the teacher. So we have a 5 semester students who asked if you could change one thing about the education system here at the uni, what would it be?
You mean Arunae?
Yeah, Adonai.
Oh, that is a very interesting question. I don't know. I will probably try to not change, but improve. And maybe, I don't know, to give more access to other students who are in small towns, invite them to join the community, maybe to create a sort of shelter, maybe to help students who are coming from different cities. I think that would be a good starting point because you don't know if those students have the chance to have access to higher education.
Okay, yes.
Yeah. So this is one thing. A second thing about the major, we always have to reformulate who we are because we are not perfect. There are no perfect majors, of course. For example, now, yesterday we had a meeting, and apparently the new teachers coming from universities, they have to go to UBP schools, son las unidocentes escuelas, and stuff. But one of the disadvantages for us at universities is that we didn't know much about how UBP schools work. So I think we need to constantly update the major, or at least each 3 or 4 years, so we can understand how to update and adapt the society needs according to the society needs according to also to our product or to our students. Because if we are teaching, I don't know, about curriculum to our students in this way, what if this changes in a few years? So our students need to be prepared. So I think too, maybe have a constant update or seguimiento, so maybe we can improve and keep growing as major. That would be important.
Thank you very much for sharing that. Now, 5 semester student ask. Sorry, I confused with the questions. Well, is tell your experience teaching between high school and college students, and what are the difficulties that you face in each one?
Okay, so, well, I told you, I taught for 12 years. Okay, I have 16 years of experience, but 12 of them were in a high school in Cuenca. I think the main difficulty there was that teachers don't have a lot of chances like to create spaces or innovative spaces where students can learn in an appropriate way. I felt that like a limitation. I don't know, maybe if you want to have open houses or create clubs or create things, that demands extra resources that sometimes the schools doesn't have, and also a lot of restrictions and permissions from the authority sides that sometimes is disappointing for us. Because even if you want to provide quality of education to the students in the high school, sometimes there are a lot of, I feel, that was my experience, I feel like there were a lot of restrictions. Because I love at that time working with projects, but if you want to work in good projects, you need to have the support from the authorities as well. So the students feel motivated. They are not working for nothing. They are working because they are listened, they are heard by the other members of the community. I think that was a challenge to me. And here, in this context, you mentioned about here too, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and here I guess that sometimes it's difficult to balance the time between teaching and doing other activities. that are also part of your job as a professor here at university. For example, you are also, sometimes you have to create direct outreach projects or research projects. So you need to find a balance between teaching or directing projects and also producing research, quality research. So what happens to me is that sometimes I concentrate a lot on teaching, and then when I realize I see that I didn't have enough time to produce or to sit down in my desk and write. You see, so
the project.
Yeah, I need to find a balance, I guess. So maybe I don't know. Maybe I'm a little bit disorganized. I don't know, but I feel inspired when I start planning for my lessons. To me, it takes a lot of time because I do it with detail, this game, this picture, blah blah blah. But I also have other responsibilities. So sometimes that is hard, but it doesn't mean that they don't like me. Actually, I enjoy a lot about creating projects and directing because you can also help people and other teachers by disseminating these projects and these results.
And I also do not like too much to write or to make projects. But when I start, I mean, nobody can stop.
Yeah.
Nobody. I remember the last semester we had to did a TED Talk project.
Yeah.
And it was the last thing I didn't wrote nothing. It was the last day for the presentation. I started to writing in the morning, and it took me 1 hour, I guess.
Wow.
I created everything in my mind. I was inspired, and that's when I noticed that when I start writing, nobody can stop me.
Yeah, I have the same, but honestly, I need to find a balance because sometimes I'm here in research and think, oh, I need to plan, and then I'm here. So I'm like this.
Yeah, you need to find a balance, probably organize better your schedule.
Of course, because my students are going, well, they have an opinion about you as teacher.
Yeah.
They see you if you are prepared, if you are bringing material, if you are implementing games, blah blah. They are observing you, so you are a model. So that's why for me, teaching is also very important.
It's very important what presents do you give to your students. What is your aura, the word which is function today. And I have another question, teacher. What do you think that it's more difficult, teach in high school or teach in here at college?
It depends on what is your preference. For example, in high school, I enjoy teaching my students there. But sometimes, not all of them, parents could be complicated. Yeah, because I remember one experience that the students didn't say anything, of course, but one of the parents, only one, was complaining. Like I was teaching an English class in English. You see, I cannot teach English and Spanish.
Yeah, and what was he complaining?
He was complaining that he couldn't do the homework.
Okay.
And I remember that they called me to a meeting with all the parents. It shouldn't happen like that. Teachers shouldn't be confronted in that way. I think this was super irresponsible from the authority side. And when I was there, I explained like, okay, I work in this way, I use this methodology. Here you have, because I used to translate English to Spanish instruction. And even with that, they were having difficulties.
Wow.
So I explained everything. And at the end, I found out that most of the parents were happy with the strategy. There was only one person complaining. Only one person. And sometimes only for one person can create chaos into the classroom. And what I said to this person, I think that sometimes, of course, in a very respectful way, I think that sometimes the limitation is not in the child's mind, it's on the parents. Because if you are telling to your child that he can't speak English, that English is difficult, he's going to believe you. Don't say that. That's what I said to the parent. Don't say that it's difficult.
Very, very important.
Please, don't say that.
The motivation from the parents to the kids.
Yes.
If a parent says you can do that, the self-esteem of the child will be increased.
Yeah, maybe that person had a negative or a bad experience in the school or in the past. I totally understand that. But this affects also your child. You cannot, because you had a bad experience, you cannot say to your child, oh, English is difficult, English is horrible, or English, you cannot learn English. No, because that was your experience. Your children can have the opportunity to gain different experiences. They don't have to be negative.
Yeah, starting for the teacher, the experience that that child will live are totally different, and that child could learn and even teach him to her or his father.
Exactly.
Thank you, teacher. Now we are finishing with this recording, and thank you for you to stay here. Before we finish, do you have any final tip or ideas for students or teachers who are listening to this podcast?
Okay, I'm gonna give a piece of advice to the students who are listening, who maybe can have an inspiration on you or maybe advice from this podcast, is that learning a second language it's difficult maybe at the beginning, but it is not about learning a language, it's learning about a whole world that is behind. And if you are a teacher, if your aim is to become a teacher, and you need to be aware that this door can lead you to an infinity possible options of creating things for your life, wonderful things for your life. So my piece of advice is don't give up. It's gonna be difficult at the beginning, but you need to be constant. You need to constantly prepare for your lessons. At the end of the day, you will realize that it was just a moment in your life, and that's it.
Thank you very much, teacher. Yeah, guys, if I have to say something, is that I am impressed. Yes, of course you can drink. I never imagined that one day I would be here. I mean, talking with you, Teacher Heidy, or with Teacher Fernanda. I mean, guys, if you have the opportunity, the chance to learn this beautiful language, take it and do not waste that. That's all that I have to say. Thank you for being here in this chapter. If you wanna see another teacher or even a student, you can put in the comentarios. And yeah, that's it, teacher. If you wanna say goodbye to the audience.
Goodbye. Thank you very much. Please join to his channel, to his community, and support Samuel. Thank you very much.
Thank you.